312K. Yesterday, over on Everyday with Jay, she was comparing Lauren's new video, and she noticed that it was very similar to Annie Elise's video. So she threw that shit through ChatGPT and it analyzed it. And this was what gave me the idea to throw their latest video through it. Be sure to head over to Jay's channel. Everything that we view today, I will put over in our YouTube show notes. We do this to cite our sources and for fair use. And we also will stop and start things and talk over it. So if that gets annoying to you, you know where to find it.
This is Lauren's latest video on Hidden True Crime. And the title is Teen Burglary Turns Deadly and Caught on Camera. Oh, but wait, you have to hit the thumbs up before I can tell you this. So we have this one, Teen Burglary Turns Deadly and Caught on Camera, Self-Defense or Ambush, the Elm Street Murders. Okay. Now, if you go back 2 years on Annie Elise, we have Unhinged, Secret Recordings, Taunting, and Murder. What really happened at the house next door? Now, you may on first glance say, what do these two videos have in common? Well, Jay put both transcripts into ChatGPT because
good thinking, Jay.
They seem very, very similar when you listen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a few minutes of Lauren, then I'm going to play a few minutes of Annie, and then we're going to look at what ChatGPT told me about these two transcripts. And it's important to note that Grayson actually worked for Annie Elise. So she has her work, if you will. Who did it?
That's really interesting. But also, I think also to make this a completely fair analysis, grabbing somebody who's very similar to HTC, like a female, like who was the other producer? Gosh, what was that person's name? It was Grayson and Lynn? No. I think it was another Lindsay. Was it Lindsay? I think it was Lindsay. Who she works for another content creator, whoever that content creator, if they covered the same thing, grabbing that script of theirs or something, just to compare to see if it's actually Grayson doing this. Is Grayson the one plagiarizing, or is it, maybe it's not even conscious that she's doing it. It just might be her writing style. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Better.
I'm always trying to not jump to conclusions and try to weigh out both sides before I make my decisions. I think it's a good way to be. But I also sometimes lean more on the overly fair side, just because that's like playing the devil's advocate, I guess. But it's actually, I'm not playing the devil. I'm playing the good person. I don't know. But what do you guys think?
The plot definitely thickens. Okay, so let's listen to a couple of lines from Lauren. Here we go.
Some cases.
She works for Ashley Banfield now? Lindsay. I think that's who I said, right? Yeah, Jay is. She hasn't done everything perfect, but the one thing that I appreciate about her is she does come out and say she's sorry, and she realizes that she's like a human being. Because people have been sending me stuff about her recently. I guess it's because I say good things about her. Yes, I know, I know, but she has righted some of the Watts case was a crazy case. I'll just say that. And I don't want to be held to perfectionism standards, and I don't hold other people to that. But why would she bring this up in her 9-hour life? Yes, it's something that has stuck in her craw that she might realize is going to come out, right? Yeah, nobody's perfect. So I'm very forgiving in that, I don't know. I just have made my own mistakes, and I just don't hold people to standards that I don't want myself to be. I want to be held to standards, right? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like I'm not a perfect human being. I'm just not. I make mistakes, and I want to be allowed to make mistakes. So I really allow other people. And I believe we choose to come here on earth to learn these mistakes, to better ourselves. And when we better ourselves, we raise our consciousness up into God. And like we could not, these are just my woo-woo beliefs, but I mean, I think that's why we come to earth, is to learn and to grow and to evolve. And we've got to be allowed to make these mistakes. These mistakes are important. So are they really mistakes, or are they blessings, right? When you make them, because I've said this before, bad things can happen from wonderful things, and truly wonderful things can rise from the ashes. So happy Thanksgiving. I'm so glad you guys are here with me. Yeah. So I am rebuilding my own life, and I've chosen to live in alone until I can build a family that is supportive. And a lot of my family members, the ones they've crossed over. I was thinking this time last year, I was just in a horrible state because I had just lost my little soul dog, my best friend that I had had for 14 years, the one who had gotten me through everything. And my life was so blue and bleak, and I don't want to go into it too much because it still is hard. I miss her. But she would be so happy to see me a year later. And her and I would be on the precipice of like a new life. And it just would be really nice. But I'm here with you guys, and I'm so much better. So, and if you're alone, just know that I'm here with you in your house. And we're just spending this day together, and it'll be okay. Sending you guys love back. Okay, so but what I'm saying is I think that we all make mistakes, and I even like hold this true to Lauren. If she could just admit this, I mean, I still think Christina should do what Christina's gonna do, but if she would admit it and come clean, there would still be a time. I don't know, like once she goes to court, more and more of her shit's getting dug into. Like the ego on this girl that she can't admit it is just, to me, then it's like dipping into some kind of psychological issues. Like this isn't just like society's programming. This is something psychologically wrong with her. And yeah, hold on, I'm going to take a drink of coffee. What kind of coffee are you guys drinking today? I've got I'm really grateful today because I got all the stuff for a good coffee this morning. Like my whole day goes 10 times better when I wake up and I can put in my coffee. I've got my collagen in there. I put butter in my coffee too for extra collagen and proteins and oils and stuff like that, because I've got some autoimmunes, and I find that oils and collagens and peptides, they all help my joints and my skin and my bones, and it makes me feel better. So, and then I've got some heavy whipping cream. I buy my own whipping cream these days and make my own coffee drink, like coffee creamer. And so I bought some fresh cinnamon. The old cinnamon that I had was so old that I had, when I had to go to the domestic shelter like 3 years ago, it was from there. So I bought myself some fresh cinnamon and I put it in the heavy whipping cream, and yeah, cheers. It's tasty. That's how I like my coffee. How do you guys like your coffee? So getting back to here, Jay is comparing these two scripts, and I was just musing. I just really wonder if they're doing this, and we'll find out in just a minute. But I want to take a look at this, and then we'll run our own simulation.
Take a hard look at what people do when they're scared or angry, and push us to question just how far someone should be able to go when they say they're defending their home. And few cases bring that debate into sharper focus than what happened.
I'm going to change my name to Fancy Pants. Power fancy pants with my fancy coffee.
in Little Falls, Minnesota on Thanksgiving Day in 2012. It began the way many rural crime stories do. A homeowner on edge after a series of break-ins and two teenagers who made a dangerous, life-altering choice.
I'm so sorry. That is losing Maybelline, hands down the hardest thing I've been through. Like last year, I can't even remember what I was doing last year. I had to go back and look at my live and I don't remember doing it. And yeah, it was bad time. I was covering the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case on top of it all, and it was really like scratching my mother wound, and it was like inflaming it and making it even worse. And it was just like, and then I lost Maybelline. I was like, ugh.
Haley Kiefer and her cousin Nicholas Brady broke into the home of 64-year-old Byron David Smith, likely expecting to grab what they could and get out. But what they
Let's scoot over to Annie. This is 2 years ago. This is Annie Elise now. Listen.
Today's case may be a bit of a controversial one, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's a long one, so get ready. We can all agree that a person's home should be the place where they feel the most safe and the most secure. The right to bear arms is a very sensitive topic.
This is
but
regular
most
speed.
people would agree that everyone has the basic right to protect their home. On Elm Street, in the city of Little Falls, Minnesota, after a retired man had been burglarized nearly a dozen times, he started to feel more and more violated and afraid in his own home. So with little help from law enforcement and at his wit's end, he decided to take matters into his own hands by securing his home the best that he could. He armed himself in his home and waited for the next inevitable break-in. But this time, he would be ready. In this story, we will discuss this truly tragic and personally, I think, avoidable situation and how two teens' bad choices resulted in a real-life nightmare on Elm Street.
So I took the two transcripts, entire transcripts. And put them into ChatGPT. And ChatGPT found the exact matches.
Just help a brother out here.
Okay. So we have exact match is going to be the yellow heart. Paraphrase or minor changes are the green heart. Unique, only one version, is the blue heart. So we're going to start and we're going to just, kind of go through this. This one is the intro of the case context. In the original, some cases make us take a hard look, ... Lauren's is going to be B, suspected copy. Some cases make us take a hard look, ... Exact match. Right here in the Littlefields background. Here's the original. Quote, "It began the way many rural crime stories do." In Lauren's, same phrasing. Another exact match. Description of teens. Hailey Kyer and her cousin Nicholas Brady, ... Same exact match. Bryson's reaction and fear. Quote, "A man who would later say he genuinely believed he had reached his breaking point, ... Slightly reworded, same meaning. Paraphrased. Audio recordings and evidence. Prosecutors argued that this wasn't a split-second act. Same concept, wording slightly different. Paraphrased. The debate on self-defense. Quote, "Many people see it differently." Lauren's, essentially the same. Brian's history and military. Full biography of Brian, awards, career. Almost identical phrasing. Exact match. Byron's property and summer jobs. In 2011, Byron noticed a group of local boys.
Because it keeps muting out. Let me push in my things and see. I need a better mic. I'm at that point in my life again where I need another mic. I will try to keep an eye on my mic. All right, anyway, let's get back. So Jay had shown us that there was some shenanigans going on, possibly with some plagiarizing between Annie Elise and Hidden True Crime. Well, Hidden True Crime just put out another video yesterday, and it's the sadistic teen predator they refused to stop inside the Jesse Mack Butler horse in Stillwater. And I thought, and she put this out 9 hours ago, right? So in light of the new plagiarism situation, I thought, I wonder if Annie Elise is putting out anything on Jesse Mack. Well, lo and behold, a day ago, Annie Elise has out teen predator gets 0 prison time in Jesse Butler case. So I thought we would head over to ChatGPT and run those 2 scripts through. And I just realized you probably didn't even hear me when I was talking on Jay's channel, showing you that roughly 50 to 60% of B is copied word for word. And B is Lauren and A is Annie Elise. Another 30 to 35% of it is lightly paraphrased. And then only 5 to 10% appears unique or added in. And my thought to that too was, well, what if it's not even unique? What if it's just shit ChatGPT threw in? What if it's not unique at all? Right? But before we even got into it, I was reading to you a little bit about what the Jesse Butler case was about. So, who is Jesse Mack Butler? In 2024, Butler, then 16 to 17-year-old and a student at Stillwater High School, was accused of violently assaulting 2 female classmates. Charges included rape, battery, first-degree attempted rape, rape by instrumentation, and repeated domestic assault and strangulation. According to police affidavits, at least one victim was strangled unconscious, while a physician stated she would have died if the strangulation had lasted seconds longer. There is also a report that Butler filmed the abuse and threatened the victim with death if she reported it. The legal outcome: Butler was initially charged as an adult, facing up to 78 years in prison across multiple felonies. In a plea deal during August 2025, Butler changed his plea to no contest. Now I'm worried like I'm going mute, so I just want to make sure I'm not muted. His legal status was changed to youth in a plea deal. His legal status was changed to youthful offender under state law, which pisses me off. Instead of prison time, the deal sentenced him to rehabilitation, more than 100 hours of community service. Well, that's going to do something, right? Strict curfew, that'll do it. Mandatory counseling, it'll just educate him. And daily check-ins until he turns 19, contingent on strict compliance. A part of the agreement, he reportedly will not be required to register as an ex-offender. So he doesn't even have to register. And the community's outraged. The verdict triggered widespread outrage. I'm outraged with protest. Up here, it talked about like nobody accidentally does that. Like, you don't accidentally grape somebody. It's not something you trip and fall on. It's not something like when you're drunk, you accidentally do, right? It's not something that you accidentally do. And I saw the other day, I don't know if it's true, I need to double check it, but I saw it was either in the state of Florida, I think you get a life sentence if you're found guilty for graping a child, which I think you should. I hate a child graper more than a schmurderer. And I hate saying these words, sorry guys, but YouTube is what YouTube is. But I hate it. And You steal a child's soul where they have to deal with that for the rest of their life. You need to deal with what you've done for the rest of your life, in my opinion. And this guy here, if it's true, if he did this stuff, what a sweet little deal. But anyway, we're going to find out what he did. And we're going to go into comparing these two by putting the transcripts through ChatGPT. So let me get the transcripts and we'll throw it through. Okay, so you can see here, I'm grabbing keeps muting my mic. How annoying. All right, let's see if I put it stationary. I usually hold my mic. Let's see if I put it stationary, if it'll stop doing that. So, okay, so let's go over. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. What's it telling me? I think it probably said there's. Oh, shoot. Was I muted that whole time? Okay, so hold on. All right, now I need to go over and get Annie's transcript. Hold on a second, you guys. Actually showing you how to do a few things. If you want to check a transcript, this is how you do it. Okay. All right, it's a thinking. Hopefully it won't argue with me. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. If you're like behind, there won't be any sound for about 10 minutes. But if you're just catching up, all right, it's going to fight with me. Hold on a second. Okay, here it goes. Make sure I'm not muted. All right, so this is what we got for the ChatGPT. It says, gotcha, thanks for dropping both. Short answer, they're covering the same case using a lot of the same source material, but they do not read like they were written by the same person. Let me break it down in human terms, but layer speak. Where they're similar, some overlap is baked in because they're pulling from the same stuff, some core facts and beats. same official language. Both use identical or near identical lines from the body cam. Right now, you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs, etc. That's normal. There's a same overall arc. Hook, set the scene in Stillwater, lay out the assaults, explain the charges, explain the youthful offender, loophole, etc. Where they're different, this is an important part, voice and rhythm, HTC, and it could be that they put this out to show that they're different. Like, look, we're completely different. We're putting out the same thing that Annie Elise just put out, and we're going to put it out different. So we're different. So it could be a little of that too. Where they're different, this is an important part, the voice and rhythm, HTC transcript, Lauren, more formal, podcast documentary tone, heavy on process language. I'm going to pause here. Let me repeat that line. This has a sadistic quality. Long reads of the affidavit and victim impact statement with commentary sprinkled in. Likes to label things explicitly. That's controlling. This is so violent. I have questions. Repeat internal phrases like, I'll keep reading. I want to point out. Annie Elise transcript, very deep, conversational, YouTube-y. Okay, listen up for a second. It's going to enrage you. Are you freaking kidding me right now? Another male student athlete abusing his power and getting away with it. Clear Annie hallmark, sponsor read on front, PDS debut in her usual style. Rants, this is sick, get a grip, be a girl's girl for a hot second. This is like who Lauren wants to be. Like when she says that she's oh so quirky, this is who she's trying to be. The cadence and personality are totally different. HTC is true crime doc with a therapist lens. Annie is commentary and outrage advocacy. How they use the evidence. HTC walks you chronically through each incident from the affidavit. Annie summarizes the affidavits more than she recites them and spends a lot more time. Does it look like the same writer or one stealing from the other? No, they don't read like they were written by the same person. Let me see. If there's any similar, I don't think. And if there's anything you want me to ask, you can put it in chat and I'll look over in a second and see. This is something ChatGPT has been doing lately. It's been showing me its thinking thought process. I don't know if it means to do that, but when I got really angry with it up here, it came over. It was like, user is very angry. Use language that will calm her down or something like to that effect. I was paraphrasing it, but it was like, whoa, calm her down. Yeah, there are some similar phrases, but almost all the overlap is where both of them are quoting or paraphrasing. So exact match, the arrest body cam quote. Both scripts use the word for word line. Right now, you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs, so turn around for me. That's literally what the officer says in the body cam. So it's not either creators writing. They're both transcribing the same footage. The 30 seconds line, both talk about the doctor saying she was almost killed by the strangulation. HTC, just 30 more seconds could have killed her, or very similar. Annie Elise, 30 seconds more and she would have not survived. But I mean, that's something that, how else, do you really say that? Same fact, same number, same idea. 3, there's a record wiped clean, 19th birthday. Both say some version of his record will be wiped clean once he turns 19. Mockery of justice. HTC mentions a state representative calling the sentence a mockery of justice. AE also says a statement representative called it a mockery of justice and talks about proposed legislation. The victim impact line about neck voice safety, HTC reading LS statement has a line like, you didn't just strangle me with your hands, you strangled my voice, my joy, my ability to feel safe in my own body. And AE says, summarizing the courtroom moment, you didn't just put your hands on my neck, you took my voice, my happiness, and my ability to feel safe in my own body. Those are very close in structure, but HTC is clearly reading from a long written impact statement, and Annie Elise is pulling a shorter, punchier version as the headline quote. Generic true crime outrage language. Both talk about the case as one of the most controversial, shocked so many, outrage. Both frame it as violent, repeated abuse, almost death, 78-year potential sentence, no prison time via youthful offender, privilege, influence, OSU athletics, judge connections, community protests, petitions, Black Turner, and the bottom line is, I think the bottom line is she has seen Jay's video. Because when did Jay come out with her video? Popping over just to make sure my mic is still on. When was Jay's video? Jay put out her video 12 hours ago. So Jay's video comes out. Annie Elise had put out a video a day ago. And Miss Lauren decides she's going to put out a video and make sure, she probably just did the same thing I did and ran her script through ChatGPT just to make sure it wasn't like Annie Elise's. Don't you think? I just feel like she's that kind of girl. She's that kind of girl. I'm a watcher from the bushes and don't comment much. I'm behind in the stream, but wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Thank you. And you're welcome. You're welcome. You don't think it's Lauren copying, it's Grayson reusing old scripts, but I do think we got this video. I think we got this video to prove that Lauren is not a plagiarizer. Like, she wants us to know. And I promise you they ran it through ChatGPT to make sure that there were no similarities, because it's too perfect now, right? It's just a little too perfect. Let me see what you guys are saying. A jock and his daddy, it's not mistaken, is a coach and his money. Yeah. It's a good old boy network at its finest. Anyone, did Lauren or Grayson once work for Annie A? Yes. Grayson did. Thank you for answering, Betsy Sue. Lauren's most recent video on this was the script, and he did 2 years ago. Jolene did a breakdown of this. Well, she knows she has been found out, so she's doing her own homework. Yeah, she's doing a little she's doing a little CYA. That's what she's doing. So it is what it is. Hi, Anderson Gustav. Or Anders Gustafen. I'm sorry, Lauren is aware of it. Her name is on the channel. Yeah, her responsibility. She knows. Lauren knows. Or maybe she didn't know that part. I don't know. I don't know how. Son of a bitch, this mic. I can't hold it. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see if that does it. Keeps muting, so now I'm paranoid. Thanks, Lauren. Now you have me paranoid. I'm just going to blame Lauren for everything. You ruined my Thanksgiving, Lauren. I was about to do my best live ever, just like Dr. John. Okay, so let's keep going. Now we're getting into very alleged. I wasn't going to show this, but I am going to show it now since we've got this plagiarism on the table. So in one of my videos, I had a comment that I wanted to show you that I thought was very interesting. But hold on. I need to make my screen a little bit bigger so I can read it. So you can see that it was in this video over here when I did, it was a clip that I did. It was a clip that I did. I'm just making sure my mic's not muted. I gotta like make sure I don't keep talking about it too. But there was a clip from a live that I did, and I put Mormon stories drops bombshell comments about hidden true crime. And then somebody put this comment down there. And it's basically telling me that Lauren didn't decide to leave her news network. She was basically ran out of it for the same behaviors that she's doing now. Haven't been able to verify it. I did ask them to email me, and that hasn't happened. And I am blocking the person's name because I haven't been able to verify it. So, but this was a day ago, and it says, I'm going to make some very educated statement and guesstimates about Lauren Matthias. I knew her and was part of the circles in Boise, Idaho, in which she was attempting to infiltrate her way into. She has a significant addiction to drugs and self-image. This spiraling behavior is also a high indicator that she is likely betraying John or their family unit on some level, and it is about to be found out. This is a pattern I personally witnessed with Lauren. She was and remains the consummate mean girl that she was 20 plus years ago. She has learned nothing of professionalism. She remains immature and self-absorbed, a meme-worthy personality, and if there ever was one. She didn't remember me, but I knew her 20 plus years ago in Boise, Idaho, when she was trying to jumpstart a career in TV journalism, and she was run out of town because she was constantly inserting and meshing and ingratiating herself into every news story she covered. She kept getting counseled for it, and they just finally fired her because what you all are seeing, watching her do now is exactly what she was doing 20 plus years ago, and making everything about her and then crying and carrying on as she was a victim. Beware. All right, this is going to make me scream. Hold on. I'm going to build a tower for my mic so I don't move it. And so the thing, when did it, I might have to dig out my old mute or my old mic and see if that helps. Or I'm going to build a tower. Hold on a second. I'm going to try the tower first and then Okay. When did it cut out? Can someone tell me, was I reading it? Did I read the beware part before it cut out? Because I think it cut out just as I said beware. Sorry, guys. Obviously, I need a new mic, right? How annoying. Thank you for sticking with me. Personality. Yeah, I think I read most of it, and then it cut out right at beware. So I think that's what it was. God darn it. Now I got to get a new mic. So annoying. I just told you, beware. Electronics are going to go kaplooey, and then mine goes kaplooey. But thankfully, it didn't go like completely kaplooey. It's just half kaplooed. It's kaplooed. It's kaplooed, not kaplooied. It's really sickening. The last paragraph wasn't heard. Okay. That sounds about right. That sounds about right on par for my life. What do you guys think, though? I have been hearing murmurings about, like, our Miss Matthias isn't everything that she is telling us she is, because let's head back over to Reddit. And that's the thing, when I'm on StreamYard, I'm usually away from the screen. So I'm not seeing my back studio. So I don't always, I don't see that I'm muted, which sucks. But anyway. Shannon is my co-host on Sundays for Highly Strange Days. That's when we get a little more spiritual and paranormal and spooky. We've decided, because I am switching, I'm going to move from StreamYard to whatever Jay's using. I'm at Stream Lab. I'm going to switch over to, but I need to practice because it's a completely different board. So we're going to go live throughout this, like tomorrow, and throughout this next week, where I'm practicing, and we're going to watch some holiday movies that are old and copyright free. And we're going to have like a Christmas holiday viewing party where we're just going to watch funny holiday movies. Cause they're going to be like, I think one of them is Santa Claus versus the Martians. Another is the classic Scrooge, which I love. I love a good Scrooge. I don't care. I love Scrooged. I love Scrooge. I love movies. I'm a movie person anyway, movie TV. I'm not one of those people, like some people say, oh, I don't have time to watch TV. Well, TV and movies and stuff like that inspire me. And it's kind of like me going into creative mode and doing research. And it's just like, it's part of my creative process. I'm a Gen Xer. If I wasn't outside, I was inside in front of the TV or listening to music, dancing to music, making up routines and stuff like that. So it's a way that it inspires me. And so I do watch a lot of TV and I do watch a lot of movies. So I'm even considering over on Feel Good University doing like my favorite movies or my favorite TV videos and stuff like that. I'm going to start doing more on Feel Good. But anyway, this is Lauren got off in the weeds about what I'm planning to do. Yes, okay, it is capital punishment in Florida. So yes, it's capital punishment now if you grape a child, which maybe people aren't going to do that, right? Dr. Outhouse is full of shit. Spoke with Stacey Wondra and seemed to make excuses for him. He makes excuses for everybody. And then when he realizes that it's not acceptable what he's doing, he changes his tune. It's like a wishy-washy mess. I don't think Annie Elisa said anything yet. And I think Lauren purposely put this same video out to show she's not copying. I think that's why we got that second video, this very random video yesterday. All right. So over in the Reddit streets, She certainly lies like a politician. They are noticing that there's some weirdness in her resume. Harvard University class auditioning. Anyone can pay a fee to be able to sit in a lecture and listen. She is so pathetic. Ha ha ha. I went to MOOC at Harvard. Yeah, anyone can. She went to Harvard. I thought that was Dr. John. So now our dear Lauren is saying that she went to Harvard. She wrote staff intern, U.S. House of Representative, Washington, D.C., August through November 2000. She wrote constituent letters, led tours of the Capitol, represented. I just want to make sure I'm not muted. Represented congressmen at political events, the White House, special office intern, the White House. I've never heard her say anything about this. This is news to me. Washington, but I don't, all of this is kind of news to me. She coordinated event attendance, greeted guests at events, open houses for the Clinton admission. Oh, interesting. That must be why they were siding with Amber Turd. I bet. Noteworthy, award-winning best reporter in state 2015 Idaho Broadcast Associate best report. And keep in mind what we just read, what was put in my comments about her being ran out of her industry, not her leaving the industry. Idaho Press Clubs. She graduated Stanford University. Oh, okay. So this tells us where she finally graduated. Graduated Stanford University Digital Media Documentary. Oh, this was just something she took. Film workshop. Co-host and founder the Cultural Hall podcast, which received thousands of listeners each week. 2011. Writer, essay featured in Life Lessons from Mothers of Faith book, Covenant Communications, 2012, columnist. Articles featured in popular blogs. I wonder if that's that one where we saw she was talking about being a older woman with no kids yet. Graduate Los Angeles Reporters Clinic, a week-long reporter anchor workshop in Los Angeles in 2008. Nonprofit work, full-time travel with Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, gave media interviews. What was she doing with the Breast Cancer Foundation? Does she have a history with that? Service full-time 1.5-year missionary Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Cleveland, Ohio from 2002 to 2004. She was intern of the year for the University of Utah's outstanding intern in Washington, D.C. I think that's where she went, to the University of Utah. She's an adventurer, all 50 states, 18 countries, documentary in Thailand, living in Australia, and she's scuba dived in Guatemala. Her education, University of Utah, Lake City, Utah, in December of 2006. She has her BS in mass communication and emphasis in broadcast journalism. She studied in Jerusalem, Israel, Jordan, Egypt, studied history, religion, politics, and language. I wonder what language. And she has Harvard University, Cambridge MA. She has from 2013 to 2014 class auditing, op-ed, column writing. So it doesn't seem to match up with what we're finding out about her. It feels to me like she's reaching. Ching. Who scuba dives in Guatemala? Well, our Miss Lauren Matthias does. Let me come over and see. I mean, growing up in a misogynistic household with a bunch of brother, no wonder she went wild with achiever addiction. She's a pick-me girl, for sure. I mean, we've all been, like, I don't care who you are. As a woman, you've all, because we're all, like, go through, as young girls or whatever, a pick-me stage. But hopefully you grow out of it and you learn that, you know, you choose yourself. Fuck the world if you want to pick me or not. But she's a real pick me girl. This cracks me up. she's got a oceanfront property to sell us in Tennessee too. So you know how it goes with our Lauren Turd. I worked clinical and mental health clinics. Several doctors were in psych at all, one in history, one in education, but with some level of psych education. Doctors should really have more psych education than they do. I don't know. Dr. John is weird. Dr. John has had issues in his past. I know for a fact he has, because he's too wishy-washy. He's too pleasing. He wants to please. He wants to be smart, but he also wants to please at the same time. Man, that coffee is good today. Yes. I went down into my darkness and I feel like God found me down there, whispered in my ear, told me he loved me and I needed to love myself. And I don't think that's been whispered to these people yet. Because when you get to that point, you don't want the world to change. You change and then the world changes around you. I don't know if anybody saw, I like to do my little quotes on my community page. I'll throw up what's happening, and then at the very end, I'll do like a carousel of pictures. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm a mixed media artist. I love doing mixed media stuff. And today I threw up this. Selfishness is not living as one wishes to live. It's asking others to live as one wishes to live. There. If you don't understand it, I urge you to really think about it. I don't expect others to leave an argument. I leave the argument.
Late at night, you'll hear a cricket and it sings a song, and I know the words